Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Adamant Algorithm. This is Surain. In today's video we are going to see how to create a very simple old school kind of game, Space Invaders or whatever you want to call it. So I do have a very simple spaceship that just let me quickly play this so it'll be easy for me to explain to you guys. Okay, so I have a very simple movement attached to my spaceship when I move left and right, and when I click the left mouse button I can able to shoot as many amount of ammo or bullets, whatever we want to call it, as I please. But when I actually click my right mouse button I can able to shoot only one missile at a time, which means I have to wait until the missile hits something or destroy itself before I shoot another one. So this is the effect I have set in my example video, but in your game you can able to change or play around with the logic as you please. Now so basically I'm not going to cover how the character is moving because it's going to be a very simple couple of lines code, but anyway I will show and talk about it. But the overall goal of this particular video is to learn how to shoot with your mouse. Okay, so let's go ahead and see one by one. Before I start off, let me delete the unwanted items or clear up the project so it'll be easy for you guys to follow with me. Okay, I'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, here we are back again. I have completely cleared the unwanted items and I set everything back to square one in my project. So let's quickly see what do we have. I have a couple of sprites, which is this background and the one sprite for the big bomb or whatever, and a small bullet and the ship itself. Then I do have a prefab, which I will come back to it pretty soon now, and I have a script that moves the character left and right. And let me just quickly tell you how it works. So I do have a variable called move speed and I have set it to 5 in the initial stage. Then in the update function, because it happens every frame, what I did is I am taking my input. The horizontal keyword stands for left or right axis in Unity. It's set inside the input axis of our Unity itself, this keyword, and I'm taking this and storing it in a variable called move horizontal. Then transform.translate, which means it moves every time. Okay, so transform.translate, because it's an update, it moves it every frame. So I'm multiplying my whatever value I'm getting from my keyboard inside this variable times move speed, which is this 5 at the moment, times time.delta time to keep the frame rate stable. I'm not moving it in the Y and I'm not moving in the Z direction, so I don't really care. That's it. Pretty much the character is being moved with just these couple of lines. Okay, that being said, now the next thing we need to do is we need to set up our primary fire, which is that blue color bullets which I'm talking about. So how to create the prefabs first is what we need to see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just drag and drop this guy right in here. As you can see, it's right on top of it, so I don't really care. What I will do is I'll just apply a box collider, and as you can see the box collider is neat and tidy right there. And what I would do is I'm going to move this guy right there. Okay, pretty much, or else what I would do is I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to create prefabs of this small fire. Now it essentially became a prefab. I drag and drop, as you can see. I move this guy right there. Okay, so I'll drag and drop another prefab and I'm gonna move this so that it comes from the side guns, okay, the primary ones. So for this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an empty game object and I'm gonna name it small guns, or let's say small fire or whatever. That would be easy to say, small fire. So I'm gonna drag this guy right in front of it. Oops, sorry. Drag it, make it as a child. So now I have this small fire. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna create a prefab of this entire setup so that I can instantiate these guys. That's my goal. The other thing is I want the bullet to be behind the spaceship, because for now it's actually above the spaceship. So what we would do is we go to the prefab of this one, open prefab. So we'll select both of it and say order in layer, let's see, 1. Okay, so we'll go back and we need to make our ship in the layer 2 so we will not have that problem. Okay, so that is done. The next thing is we need to attach a script to the small fire so that it will start moving as soon as we start playing the game, because we don't want any separate control on that. In order to do that, I'm going to create a script for the small fire, the add component. Oops, sorry, small fire, this one. Okay, open the prefab, go to add component, new script. I'm going to say small fire script. Okay, so wait until it's finished. Okay, done. Double click to open. Alright, so in here what I'm gonna say is I need a variable called move speed, because that's very important for us to control how fast the bullet is moving. Public, it's gonna be, its integer is okay. Move speed, okay, is equal to for now I'm gonna say 10 is fine. So in the start function itself we can say no, in the update, because every frame it has to move, we're gonna say transform dot translate. So which direction we need to see? Vector 3 dot up, because it's going in the positive y direction, into our move speed, into time dot delta time. Okay, that does it. Now we go back to the our scene. All right, let's quickly check what's happening, whether it works or not. Cool, that works. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I need to instantiate now. All right, so I don't need this guy in my scene anymore, because that's a prefab anyway. So just double check whether your prefab is okay. Yep, of course, because we have our script attached right there. Now I'm gonna go to the this one, and I'm going to create instantiate. So I'm going to my ship code, and here ship code is attached to the ship right there. Now it has nothing, just move speed, which determines this speed that ship itself is moving left or right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more stuff to the same script file. So I'm going to say public game object small fire. Okay, so I'm going to create a new function, void shoot small fire. So in this function I'm going to say instantiate. So what is going to be our game object? Our game object is a small fire that we have set. So vector 3 position, this I will come back, and here we will say there is no rotation involved, so Quaternion.identity. I know this is not the correct syntax, but I need to type something in here. Guys, you need to understand one thing is, for example, my ship is here right now, so when I click left mouse button it shoots from here. What if I move the ship in here? If we don't know where our ship is, then no matter what, whenever you click the left mouse button, the bullets will be shot right from the center of the scene, because your ship might be anywhere, but the Unity don't know, because the location is not considered while shooting. And that's what we are doing right now. So what we need to do is we need to determine where our ship is. So at this in update I'm gonna say this one, or even better, we go to our method itself and we say vector 3 component, because we are determining the position of the ship. Vector 3 ship current position is equal to this dot transform, because this script is attached to the spaceship itself, so this dot transform dot position. So before this is instantiated, we will record where our ship position is, then we will pass in the current position, ship current position. So what happens is instantiate is when you click left mouse button, it will instantiate the small fire object into the position, which means at the moment when you click what is the position of the ship, it will be instantiated right there, and there is no rotation involved whatsoever. So let's go ahead and check whether this works. Click left. Okay, oops, sorry, see, every time this is my habit. We actually forgot to add our game object. So what I'm gonna do is small fire, this is the prefab, so attached it there, right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and select click. Okay, you know what I did? Update function is everything is fine. I created a shoot small fire, but I actually forgot to add a mouse event. That's exactly the whole point of this exercise. So what you need to do is, what is the condition when I click left mouse button, correct? So if I'm gonna say input dot get key or get mouse button down is going to be 0. Number stands for left mouse button. If it is going to be number 1, that stands for right click. Okay, mouse button, just simple shoot small fire. That's it. If it is going to be left click, shoot small fire. Okay, let's go ahead. Hopefully, if I don't forget, everything should work fine. There we go. Okay, so we almost achieved what we want, but we do have a major problem. So the problem is, every bullet that we shot stays up in our scene and it goes on and on and on and on. There is no stopping them. So eventually, the more amount of bullets that we shoot, it will eventually break our game, because that will hamper with the performance of the game and whatnot. Okay, so we need to find a way to delete our bullets which we shot after a while, of course. So for that, what I'm going to do is we are going to go to the small fire script. This is the one which is responsible for moving the bullets when it is actually activated in the scene. The start function itself, I'm going to start a timer, so which means I'm going to create destroy. What to destroy? This dot game object. Not immediately, but after 1 second, roughly 1 second. I'll go here, wait for a while, let it complete. Okay, so let's shoot. Okay, as you can see, it's being shot. I think here you can able to see the bullets I shoot, after a while it's getting deleted. This is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so that settles it. We have successfully finished our primary fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exactly do the same to my big fire, which is I'm going to select this guy. Okay, so I'm going to click open prefab, just remove the component. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more script to this, add component, open prefab, add a component. I'm going to call it big fire, create an add. So I'm going to follow exact thing. I'm going to copy paste everything, so I'm going to just do it really fast. Okay, so we have actually created the big fire and the small fire. So what we need to do is, here we need to actually create, just copy this, paste, copy this, paste again. I'm gonna call it big fire. So in here I need one more game object. In this case is going to be big fire. Alright, in this case I'm gonna say if input is left mouse button, that's going to be small fire, else if is going to be input dot get mouse button. In this case, if it's going to be right click, we need to say shoot big fire. Alright, let's go ahead, wait for a while. So play, left mouse button shoots this bullet. Okay, right mouse button, see my usual habit. Okay, let's quickly go. Alright, okay, so what happens is I quickly go here, big shoot fire. So everything is fine, input dot get mouse button, shoot big fire, and obviously change the small fire to our big fire. Big fire. Okay, so now let's go again. Alright, so let's check this big fire is here to check whether it is moving as intended or not. Yes, it is moving as intended. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete it. Make sure I just add the big fire here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just try playing. Okay, so now everything is cool. Alright, but one problem is if this is the effect you want, it's okay. But for me, primary fire and secondary fire, so I just want to make the secondary fire precious. Alright, which means it's rare to find, or you have some sort of limitation for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do one thing. I'm going to limit this fire rate, which means if one big fire, one bomb exists in the scene, you cannot shoot another one. And how to do that? It's pretty simple. I'm gonna go open prefab. As you can see, I have actually created a tag as big. Okay, and I've already selected the tag as big. So what I'm gonna do is I will go into the script of the ship code. I'm going to check before I shoot the big fire if there is any object with the tag name big exist in the scene. If it does, then don't shoot another. And it's pretty simple to do. For that I'm gonna just delete this guy and I'm gonna create another if statement. If oops, for that before we need to find it, right? So I'm gonna say game object my big bullet, it's just a local variable, is equal to game object dot find game object with tag. So what is the tag we have set is big. This is what we need to find. So no matter how many objects you have, if at least one object exists with the tag name big, that will be stored inside our variable my big bullet. So now I'm gonna say if if my big bullet is equal to null, which means there is no such tagged object exist, then shoot big fire. Okay, so let's see whether it works. Okay, go back to Unity, just wait until it compiles. Okay, it's done. Let's click the play button. Click. This one is fine. Right click. Oops, see, after I shoot one big missile, no matter what, how many times I click the right mouse button, another one is not coming out. It's just not coming out. That's exactly what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move the ship here. There is no forward movement available for this spaceship at the moment, so we cannot go actually in the vertical motion. So that's it. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. If there anything else you can able to add to the game, this is just a starting point. Okay, and as the whole goal of this video is to create the primary and secondary fire and how to instantiate and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna just develop this idea and I'm gonna come up with the different ideas, but my specialty in my channel is I will actually teach just one simple object one step at a time. Okay, so if you like the content of the channel and the video, please do follow and please do subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.